everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in any part of the world. My name is Henry Onowole, the executive producer of AI Spotlight Show. Today, we'll be having another first edition of one of the new programs we just added to AI Spotlight Show, which is titled AI Spotlight Project Presentation. It's like come and show off your project, come and show off your AI project. And today we'll be speaking to someone who will be the first person to participate in this first edition. Let's get to know the name of our guest. Who are we having today?
I'm Michael Mensah.
Okay, and where are you located? Maybe you want
I'm
to.
in I'm in Ghana.
Okay, tell us about Michael. We'd like to know you.
Okay, so Michael is an AI ML consultant. I've been in the tech industry for a little over 15 years. I did my postgraduate in artificial intelligence and machine learning at UT Austin, and about completing cloud computing as well. So I have a studio called Neosa Labs, where we execute AI projects. And very soon I'll show you one of them. Thank you.
Okay, great. And thanks for joining our episode on AI Spotlight project presentation. This episode is dedicated to individuals who have done, several AI projects, and you want to showcase your project out there for various reasons. Showcasing your AI project to inspire others, showcasing your AI projects to demonstrate the innovation that is going on in AI to keep people updated, most especially people in the community, and showcasing your AI project maybe to attract job opportunity for yourself and also attract a business opportunity. As you can see, he's a consultant. He has an AI consulting company, and we believe that through this platform, he will be able to get clients. He's able to demonstrate his capability of what he can do in terms of handling different kinds of AI project based on business use cases. Okay, let's give Mr. Michael the floor to go ahead and tell us what project will you be presenting. Give our audience a perfect description of what this section is going to cover.
Okay, so thank you so much, Henry. Okay, so basically, I'll take you through our flagship project, and it's about cocoa plant detection. So basically, I'll take you through where it all started from, the need of the client, and also what it's supposed to do, the challenges we got, how we overcame them, the tech stack we used, and how it is actually bringing return on investment. I don't know
Yeah,
if I can start now. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you. All right, so like I said, this cocoa plant detector, you can see the image here showing a drone. So actually, it's not just for the beauty of it. Actually, everything you are seeing here is real. Okay, so drones actually took pictures of over 1,000 acres of land of cocoa farmers. Okay, so actually, this client was from Brazil, and he wanted a solution where when he takes drone images, AI could help him be able to maximize the return on investment. So as the slides proceed, we'll actually look at how it unfolds. All right. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the drone image. It's called a mosaic image. There, that's the one you see up there. I don't know if okay, my pointer is not. Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen. You
Y-
can go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so the image at the top over there, you can see a very huge field. And actually, that's the image that comes up when the drone takes the image. It's called a mosaic image. It's very big and huge. Okay, so for us to use AI, and because of the size, it's too big. So we actually sliced it or tiled it. It's called tiling, and that's the image just below. So we tiled all of this field that you see into 1024 by 1024 pixels. We actually chose 1024 because we wanted high resolution. Okay, so we took these tiles that you see here to RoboFlow. That's also an open source. It has paid versions though, but you can get a free version if you are not doing anything so heavy. All right, so we took it to RoboFlow and we tiled all of them, and we needed to tile because we are using the deep learning model called YOLO. You only look once. Okay, so that's a computer vision model. Sorry. All right. So for us to do proper model training, we needed to do tiling. So as you can see, you see some blanks, you see some black. It tells you that this data tiled. Okay, the output of the tiling looks a bit messy. Okay, so when we before we take to Yoruba Flow, we manually, just because we wanted to be sure, we manually clean up this data set. All right, so this is our data set. We manually remove all the blanks and the blacks and all of that. Once it is clean, we take all to RoboFlow. Then in RoboFlow, we have two classes, and the class one is cocoa plant. Class 2 is missed holes because in this field they use machines to dig holes all over, all right, and they are in straight lines and they have equal distances apart, very mechanized. So we show the YOLO flow, these two classes of how a cocoa plant, that's the picture you see up there, how a cocoa plant looks like. Then we also show, very soon I'll show you the holes. We also show to the model how the holes look like. So the model is able to learn just these two classes. All right. And we do bounding boxes in RoboFlow. Then YOLO usually works with the bounding boxes. All right. So we do all of that. Then we feed all of these to the model. And I can assure you that it is something very amazing. We saw real impact, and the reason being that because of the size of the field, okay, it makes physical inspection almost impossible, sometimes very slow, and also very inconsistent because human beings have to look at this big field. Human beings have to go around counting holes that were missed, and it looks very, very difficult. All right. So, but with this tool, we are able to reduce inspection time for about 60%. And we are also able to increase precision in rim planting for about 30 to 40%. And actually, the overall precision in terms of all things being equal, if I say all things being equal, let's assume diseases, there were no diseases. Let's assume no animal came to do anything. Now, okay, for animal we can detect. So let's assume there was no disease. Let's assume, for example, you just let's stay with disease. There was no disease or anything that maybe you cannot think of. Let's assume nothing like that happened. Okay. So using this tool, this is what happens. Let's say cocoa plants germinate in 1 week, right? You at that 1 week you take the drones round and they take the images, all right, then it predicts all the cocoa plants that germinated and also it predicts all the missed holes in the next 2 weeks, assuming by then they should have grown to some extent, right? So what you do is that when you detect the missed holes, you replant them, and if maybe they will germinate in 3 weeks time, in 3 weeks time you take the drone again, Then the drone takes the picture, then you let the model, so it's like a cycle during their growing stages. You let the drone check again. Any missed plantings identify, you replant. So if you are able to do this religiously, periodically, right? Like I've explained, there's a possibility that, like I'm saying, all other things being equal, you can get close to 99% of your of your um of your cocoa plants all germinating.
Yeah, Mr.
The-
Michael, sorry, let me intercept you a little bit. Thanks for that, will I say, thorough overview. You know, I have various levels of audience or various cadre of audience. I want to make sure that they have a complete understanding of what you are presenting, more in a more granular way. Now I'm trying to dissect the business use case, the business problem itself. Now you talk about the use cases to dictate cocoa plant yield gaps and missing holes. Now let's do it like a storytelling. Let us assume we have a large farmland that is originally designed to designed for cocoa planting, right? We have a large
yes.
farmland designed for cocoa planting. Now, this cocoa farmer now discover that there are holes where they are planting the cocoa. Is that the issue? Like, can you give us in a more simple way of explaining, like a storytelling, right? Just like the way I describe it now. A large farmland meant for cocoa planting. And what was the major challenge that the cocoa farmer had or experienced or encountered? Was it because when they were about to start the planting, what was the challenges that were encountered, so that we can get that picture very well before we go into more technical details?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Henry. All right. So just to bring that clarity. All right.
yeah.
So the main challenge was that, because a very big land, they
Okay,
use machines to first dig holes, right? Like I
okay,
said, and with equal distances in a very straight line. All
okay,
right. So what they do is that they have another machine that goes after those who dig the holes to put in the seeds,
okay,
and it covers the ground. All
okay.
right. So when this has happened and the ground has been covered, it will be difficult for anybody to know whether the machine, or even if they are human beings planting, whether anybody missed the hole. It's almost impossible because the ground has been covered.
When you
So
said
now,
it means the whole in terms of when they're about to put in the seed.
yes,
Okay,
they first dig holes,
okay.
then the second process is for a machine or human beings to put in the seed and
Which
cover the
is like
holes
it's like
with
the seed
soil.
planting process. Yeah, the seed
Yes,
planting.
yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
continue.
yes. Okay. All right. So after they've covered it, it is impossible for you to know whether the machine or any human being or the planter missed the hole.
Okay,
So now you wait, or the farmers will wait till germination.
okay.
Is that okay? So
Yeah.
when they come during germination, they can manually inspect to check if all the holes with the seeds germinated seedling.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So if that inspection is done, because they are in a straight line with equal distances apart, it is easy for you to know that this place should have been a planting, but there is nothing. So
Okay.
you classify it as a missed hole.
Okay. Okay.
Please
That
hope
that
that is
that
fine.
was the major problem that this
Yes,
cocoa farmer was having. And
yes,
and the reason is the cocoa farmer wants to make sure that they are maximizing the land area that they have for cocoa planting. You understand? And this might
yes,
be as a reason of looking at their revenue generation or the revenue coming in. Like, we have a large piece of land like this. Why are we not making this amount of money? And if the cocoa farmer happens to have investors. You understand? Now, I'm trying to look at it from a very psychological point of view. What must have driven the farm itself, or the owners of the farm, or the cocoa farmer, to reach out to you as a consultant and say, come, can you come and develop a computer vision model to help us, a computer vision model that is integrated into a drone, to help us check in areas of the farm where there are missing holes, so that we can leverage or maximize the farmland area we have and size, maybe based on the projection of what cocoa should be yielded by by cultivation time. Maybe they've done some kind of statistics that we should be making about $50,000 or $100,000 at every cultivation, maybe quarterly. And they now discover they were not making up to this. Then I'm thinking these are the reasons that actually trigger the cocoa farmer to reach out to you. Is that making sense?
Very well put, Henry. Just
Yeah,
to add a little flesh to
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So the farmers realized that, for example, if they sowed 500 seedlings
Mhm.
during harvest, the cocoa plants, they come single as in a plant. So
Okay,
if they are supposed to count and they know they planted 500 seedlings, sometimes they get 300 trees,
okay.
200 trees. That's one of the challenge. Another one is because it's like over 1,000 acres. When
Okay.
they employ people to the land to go and check if they have germinated, inconsistencies and human error, it's prone to errors,
And,
right?
and
And
another issue, sorry to just to add, another issue that I'm also envisage is, if it's a large piece of land, imagine the human labor that they are going to employ to be checking
yes,
the missing holes.
exactly,
That's
exactly,
going to cost a lot of money, and it's also
exactly,
time wasting as well. It might not be
exactly,
that efficient. Okay, now we
exactly.
are seeing the business problem. Yeah, okay, continue. I like that.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so okay, so in this slide we can see the output
Now,
from
hold on. Before you talk about the technology stack, let us also look at the solution from a business point of view. Now, can you describe what solution you're trying to build in order to mitigate this problem? Can you explain? Because like with the solution, we'll be able to know, okay, this is what the technology you are building. Yeah, can you tell us about the solution?
Okay, so the solution is that the model is focused on solving the pain point of the farmer
No,
by
hold on.
making.
We know you are building a model, right? The model is attached to which technology? Like, how do you like how when you build a solution, how is it going to work? Are you getting what I'm saying? We can come back to how the model was built, what data you use. You understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm looking at a drone, right? Are you building your solution? Is it to build a drone that is going to replace the human figure that needs to check the missing hole, right? And this drone, is it powered by what, you know model? Yeah, if you can explain it that way.
Okay, so okay, thank you for that question. I'm not actually building a drone. And
Okay.
basically, all I need from the drone are the images
Oh,
the drone takes.
okay.
Please hope that explains it.
Okay. Okay. You actually use the drone to capture the images of the missing holes, so that you
Exactly.
can have it
So
as
the client did that in Brazil, and
okay.
sent the big image I showed you, the mosaic image, the top
Okay.
one, that big image. That's the image from the drone,
Okay.
the
Then
auto mosaic. Yes.
okay. Then the computer vision model you are building, how does it work? Is there like a technology it works with? Like, how does the farmer works with that solution you build from a user interface?
Okay, so from the user interface for the farmer and the
Yes.
NGOs to actually communicate with this, we deploy the YOLO model.
Yeah.
Actually, they're in the subsequent slides, but I can still talk about the one we reach there. I will
Yeah,
explain further.
I want our audience to get a description of the solution. Let me
Okay,
give
no
you
problem.
an example of what I'm expecting you to describe. Um, I'll tell you a major problem that is going on in the AI industry. One of the problems, and I'm looking to build a solution on it. Now, one of the challenges that a lot of companies have been having with the incessant release, I mean, consistent release of AI products from time to time. Every month, there is always a new AI product in town. There is always a new AI startup. You understand what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
it is making it extremely difficult for organization to know which AI technology they actually need. And that is why a report was published by Gartner that by 2027, a lot of organizations that are using different kinds of AI technology will discover that they don't need it because, one, they rush this AI technology because of the excitement in the air. There was no proper evaluation to check if this AI technology is something that they really need. Because, one, apart from that, the rate at which AI development is advancing is so fast. Now, the models, once they get better, what does it do? What does it do? It introduce another form of AI technology. Then, if there is an advancement in large language model, will your current AI technology still be useful to you? You can see that that is a problem, right? Okay. Now, how do we resolve that problem? Now, I want to build an AI technology, which I'm also building an AI technology that will be able to tell businesses that come, this technology that you're about to buy, this technology will be relevant for you in the next 2 years. In the next 3 years, with the advancement that I'm foreseeing, you might not need this technology again. And this technology will be able to give you an ROI of this and this amount in 2 years. And in 3 years, it will be able to give you this ROI amount. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now,
Yes.
that is a perfect description, and it's going to be like an AI technology, maybe AI need assessment technology. The AI will help you do a proper need assessment in terms of how relevant is the technology to your business. Is the technology, does it have the capability of giving you the kind of revenue that you are projecting in the next 2, 3, 5 years? Are you getting what I'm saying? Then, if you can, I know you train the model, but I want you to give us a description of the solution of what technology was now used in replacement of human to go and check the missing holes. Are you getting what I'm like? How, when you build a solution, how was it actually used to replace manual inspection of the missing holes? Maybe that makes sense to you.
Yes. So, like I'm saying, I will be covering a subsequent slide, but I can still go ahead
Yes,
and answer.
let's talk
And
about
when
that.
we'll get there,
Okay.
okay, when we'll get there, I'll explain further. Okay,
Okay.
so, okay, for the user, okay, for the farmer who is non-technical, all of these really do not matter if I use YOLO model, computer
Yes.
vision, All he wants is a solution, right? Okay, so what we did at the end was to make sure that the output, okay, was exported into GPS tagged Excel files. Okay,
Okay.
what that means is that the client, everybody used to Excel, right?
Yeah.
So you get your output in Excel like a table, and the table will list all the missed holes
Okay.
by their physical their GPS locations.
Okay.
So, like the way all of us navigate the GPS to wherever we are going. So, on
Okay.
the field, when you have the GPS location, if you walk to that spot, it is that precision, like a laser precision,
Okay.
to take you exactly to that spot. When you
Oh,
locate the spot, all you do is that you dig the ground again, and you replant your cocoa.
okay. I got the solution now. Okay, that makes sense. Now, let me ask you another question just to make sure that our audience gets clarity. When they did that, in terms of the planting, were they doing it manually after discovering the missing holes that they were not utilizing for the cocoa planting? Do
Okay,
you know
so
if they continue a manual planting, or because it's a large farmland? Go ahead, I'm listening.
yes, that's a good question, Henry. Okay,
Yeah.
imagine there was no tool to aid them. What
Okay.
it meant was, for example, when you've planted 500 seedlings, or let's say 5,000 seedlings, for example,
Okay.
it means that you would have to inspect all the 5,000. And
Okay.
like you said, you need to employ more people. You
Yeah.
pay all of them. Above that, if they are hungry or they are tired, they can miss a hole.
Yeah.
Okay. So this work is reduced in the sense that you do your planting, and
Mm-hmm.
if you do your planting, there's a likelihood that you could get maybe 3,000 or 4,000 correct. So what will be left will be like, let's say, 1,000 out of 5,000, or
Mm-hmm.
500 out of 5,000, which is very small.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And because you have to navigate, you would need human beings to navigate. All
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is that at the end of the day, the work for human beings to do is drastically reduced.
Okay. Because they
I
now
don't know if you
know
understand
the
this.
they
Yes,
know the exact
exactly.
location. But
Exactly.
you
And
said,
errors are reduced.
yeah, I understand. But if it's a large farmland like that, I expect the cocoa farmer to practice what we call mechanized farming. Mechanized farming in the sense that they were supposed to use maybe like a machine, a tractor, or something like that to help them plant the seed. We have robots now that can plant the seed. Then, because if the cocoa farmer thought about AI solution, right? And I
Yes.
believe they want to deploy AI solution, in all aspects of their farming processes or their farming practice. Now, you are only solving one aspect of the problem. Now, that is what I can narrow from the discussion. And what problem are you solving? You are helping them to utilize those holes that they were supposed to plant the seed, the cocoa seed, that were not captured when it was done manually. But with the solution that you build now was a combination of a GIS application, a YOLO model, computer vision model. And with that solution, you were able to discover locations or specific spots within the farm that were not leveraged or utilized for the cocoa planting. And when you did that, you were able to get the specific location of those images, which you said was exported into an Excel sheet. And if the farmer is about to locate those specific spots that were missing, now when they put the information maybe on their Google map, they will be able to get the spots. Am I right?
You're 100% right, Henry. And just to add icing to the cake, all right,
Okay.
this one, human, like I said earlier, human beings now have to navigate. But if the farmer is a bit sophisticated
Mm,
and he has machines that do the planting that
yeah.
can receive GPS input, then the machines can equally do it without human beings at all.
We tell them, yes, if the farming company themselves wants to make sure they standardize their business process by, automating their farming and also leveraging AI at its maximum level. And
Yes,
yeah, they will have more efficiency in terms of, quick planting seed, and also making sure they are maximizing the land. Okay, I think now our audience have a better picture, because I think that is very important. Now we understand that the solution that you're trying to build was to help them to identify missing spots within the farmland that were not utilized or harnessed for the cocoa planting. Then through the computer vision model that you build, and using the drone to take the images of the whole farmland. And when you did that with the computer vision, you train all the model, and you were able to see those specific locations within the farm that were not utilized, and you were able to get their specific spots. Now the farmer has all this information that has been exported into an Excel sheet, and now they can go ahead and start planting. Then, if they decided to use a machine that will help them to do the planting, that is fine. That will reduce their money, the money spent on planting. But if they decided to use human being to do it manually, now the manual process will be more efficient, in the sense that they will not leave any hole without planting a seed. You understand what I'm saying? Then that
exactly.
is going to be, the final outcome. Then that's the solution that Mr. Michael is actually building. I think this is very important, that we kind of break it down for those that are not technical, before we go into the technical aspect of the presentation. Okay, you can continue, Mr. Michael. I think that is very important. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so from the image here, you can see the output from the model.
Mm-hmm,
So you can see it has detected the cocoa seedlings during the periodic checks. It has also identified the holes that were missed. So the holes that were missed are in the amber or the yellow, and the bounding boxes are around the seeds
mm-hmm,
that germinated that the two actually found. Okay, and also you can see from the metrics over here, and all of the output, the final output from everything that we did was within acceptable benchmark standards, and the metrics are very good, because you can see that there's, even from this image, you can see that no missed hole was missed. You can also see that no missed plant was also missed, and it shows you that we having a mean average precision of close to 80% was actually worth it. All right, you can see the model is speaking for itself. If you have a question here, if not, I'll move on to the
Yeah,
next.
the only thing I want us to highlight to the audience is, um, so that they can have an understanding of how the model is being trained. When you are, training a computer vision model, most especially, you need some kind of data sets of different categories. Then in this use case, they are using an image data set, and those image data sets are classified into two. One image data set capture the cocoa plant, and the other image data set capture the whole, as you can see from the screen. Hope I'm on point on that, right?
You are 100% on point,
Okay,
Henry.
nice. I just want to point that out, for our audience.
Yes.
Okay, let's move to the next. Yeah.
Okay, so just part of the tech stack,
Okay.
I used Ubuntu is a flavor of Linux, and
Mm-hmm.
also had GPUs. It's called RTS 4045 from NVIDIA.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, those are the things I use. And when it came to the AI principles, when it comes to explainability, we ensure that every hole and every seed is traceable in the sense that their metrics are there. You can trace based on their GPS locations, and you can trace from the time they were planted, from the time to harvest. And when it comes to fairness, we ensure that there was no bias. If I say no bias, what I mean is that the edge cases, is a big field, so there's a likelihood of missing the plantings on the edge. So
Mm-hmm.
we ensure that everything was covered by using a technology called overlapping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we overlap them by 22%. Then
Okay.
later on, there's a logic to remove the overlap so that we
Okay.
don't get duplicates. All right. And
Okay.
when it comes to reproducibility, we ensured we have a code that did the tiling.
Mm-hmm.
We had a code that did the we had a code that did the tiling. We had
Mm-hmm.
a code that did the labeling. We had a code also that did the final inference. So that what I mean to say is that anytime you run those codes, the same process will be repeated. So if you did it 1,000 times, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to rewrite the code again and again and again. But once you do it, it just moves through the system like that. So it is future proof. The only time probably would have to come in again, like needing my services, is when maybe they've changed the plant species,
Mm-hmm.
all right,
Okay.
or the terrain has changed.
Okay.
But if the species is the same, the terrain is the same, there's no serious change, this
Okay.
model can last you for like 100 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. All right. I don't know if I can move on.
I think one thing now I okay, there you are talking about the tech stack and the pipeline. Are you going to, maybe in the next slide, tell us what platform? Okay, you didn't mention RoboFlow. Yeah, you said you use RoboFlow for something. I
Yes.
did not supposed to be in the list of the tech stack. And which platform did you use for training the model? You understand what I'm saying? Then
Okay.
it would be nice if I know we're looking at the tech stack, but it would be nice if we start seeing the methodology that was adopted for training the model and everything, Yeah, right.
Okay. Okay. So I think
And
I raised them.
sorry, another thing I also maybe with you mentioned Python here. Maybe I know you mentioned the RTS. I'm not sure if you talk more about what the QGIS was actually used for and the GeoPandas. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So like I told you, Ubuntu is a flavor of Linux. Then
Okay.
the GPU RTX 45 from NVIDIA. Okay, so for the QGIS, it's just like Google Map that all of us use,
Okay.
but this one does advanced analytics. For
Okay.
example, it can integrate with Python. Python is a programming language. It
Okay.
can also integrate with, we actually deployed the YOLO model, that's the computer vision model,
Yes.
in
Yeah.
this QGIS. So it could even integrate an AI model. So that's why we use the QGIS.
Okay. And
Yes.
you also said something about the QGIS having some analytical features. Then what kind of will I say what kind of parameters were you able to generate in terms of analytical results on the QGIS? Like what when you use it, right? What were the specific specific indices that it captured that actually kind of makes sense to you when you are doing the work?
Okay, so the drone, it
Yeah.
has a metadata, all right, and the metadata speaks about the location.
Okay.
The QGIS is able to interpret that data and
Okay.
is able to also, by default, using all of those data in the world map, able to identify, for example, if it is West Africa or Brazil, is able
Okay.
to bring Brazil into the real map, locate it in the world map.
Okay. Does it show information of longitude, latitude, and stuff like that?
Yes, it uses longitude, latitude. It uses the two, yes, that you can always convert into different formats.
Okay.
And also the best bit about the QGIS is you're able to export everything into a final product like Excel.
Okay.
And that's the beauty of it. And so you can see that the QGIS, the Google Map is also very powerful, but when it comes to this particular speciality, QGIS is on top.
Okay. And Docker was the deployment tool.
Okay, so for example, this one was deployed on QGIS. The
Okay.
customer just wanted it like that, but I actually went ahead to do it more or less like a SaaS where anybody can use, in the sense that you can more or less like subscribe
Mm.
and put your images there, and it will predict for you. All right, so this one is deployed on AWS,
Okay.
using Docker because it increases security, and it also ensures that everything that you run is independent of each other and does not interfere with anything on your computer, right?
Okay. 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 You can move. You can continue. Move to the next page. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we spoke a lot about the KGI. So this is the version that we use, and up there is the output. So all the red dots that you see, they
Mm-hmm.
are the missed holes. So you
Okay.
can imagine how much the farmer would have lost without this tool. All the red you see are money,
Mm-hmm.
and all the green are the cocoa plants that were detected. So without these two, and let's assume human beings also made errors, he would have finished maybe during the time that all of them are developed, during harvesting time, would have missed this money. You can imagine this is a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
because one tree has a lot of pods with seeds in them. So you can
Mm-hmm.
imagine the money that is going down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
This is really awesome. This is really awesome. All right, so we also deployed it. You can use CLI command line interface. That's for farmers or clients who like more or less like to play with tools, right? You can also that's the future. Right now we are going to Web3, where we are talking about blockchain. All right. So we can also, depending on the client on board or however it is that would want to, or
Mm-hmm.
how higher we would want to move this, we can also make it API gated SaaS, where we can use Bitcoin, we can use cryptocurrency, and to access it, and the pay as you go will be in crypto, right? So
Okay.
that feature too is there. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So basically, this is a method snapshot for the project.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay. So um, this can be applied not just to cocoa
So
plant,
sorry
also.
to intercept you a bit. I know you said deployment and security. I'm not sure you've deep dive into the security aspect of it. Can you talk about that? I'm looking at
Okay.
you said deployment and security.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the CLI tool, for example,
Mm-hmm.
it will be a tool that sits on your PC.
Okay.
All right. So nobody else has access apart from you, unless you give your PC to somebody else.
Okay.
Right. All right. And for the Docker, for example, you know how Docker works, containerization,
Mm-hmm.
where you have an app sitting on your PC and doesn't interact with any other app. If you put it on the cloud, you know, AWS, they are, when it comes to the world, they are top, all right, and they take security very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So all these is supposed, and also I spoke about the blockchain, the Web3, all right, where we'll use API gated um, we'll do the API with token gated. Where, well, if I say token gated, it means that before you access it, you would have to have a token which is in crypto. So
Okay.
all of these are security features, and you know, crypto is immutable. So that's the way forward.
Okay. We'll continue.
Okay, so like I said, this is not just for cocoa plant and AI. Computer vision is very powerful, and even the demonstration here shows you that with AI and you having the right tools, you become unstoppable. For example, even as a farmer. So this can be also used even in the same cocoa. We can use it to detect diseases. Okay,
Mm.
apart from missing holes, you can use to detect the diseases. You can use it to once a while just check the growth rate of the cocoa plant. You can do it for coffee. You can do it for maize. You can do it for any plantation you have that is huge, huge because we would have to do tiling, and
Mm.
the computer vision model. It needs a lot of samples to be able to learn. So
Mm.
you need a very vast land. If your land is very, very small, like your backyard, I don't think it will apply. Okay. That's not to discourage you anyway, but you need a very large plantation for this to be very effective because you need to train over and over again till your model becomes intelligent. Then it can also predict on its own. All right, so we can apply it, like I said, to a lot of other things, anything that comes to your mind, provided we can have good data and the data is very large. It can be done. All right. So I think we've come to the end of the demo. If you're looking for us, you can also see us on GitHub, and also the website is www.neosalabs.com.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. I think one aspect that I want you, I know we have few minutes. Um, can you, I know you talk about explainability. Can you tell us how you kind of, you know, incorporate or your roadmap for responsible AI principles before you embark on this project? You know, the reason why I'm saying it is the responsible AI principle is a key component of building AI solutions that are safe to use. And to be honest, I'm adding this coming from me. I think responsible AI principles validates the trustability of your AI technology. If your AI technology was not built in accordance with AI ethical guidelines, that means your AI technology to me is not verifiable, is not validated, and cannot be trusted. Then an AI technology or AI solution that is built upon the framework of responsible AI ethical guidelines can be described as an AI technology that can be trusted, that has that has been validated. Are you get what I'm saying? Then
Yeah.
anyone who is an AI engineer that is not designing a roadmap for incorporating responsible AI principles into their solution, which is their development, and into their design, they are just building an AI solution that will become a monster, or that will become a threat to the human society, a threat to the user, a threat to the business. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the responsible AI principles. How you know, how you design that before you embark on this project.
Okay, so the data the client gave me was
Mm.
his own field.
Okay.
It wasn't stolen data. It wasn't from anybody else's field, right?
Yeah.
And the only I also made sure that that data, even if I should share everything on GitHub, that
Mm-hmm.
data is not shared because it is the client's data.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, sometimes in GitHub, that's where we store our codes and all of
Yeah,
that, right?
definitely.
Where I'm supposed to make it private, I make it private. Where I'm not supposed to share, I can put just placeholders,
Mm.
just to say that this is what should be there, but not the client's information.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, when it comes to bias, we ensure that um every
Sorry,
everyone.
can you close the dialog box on the, did you see that?
Yes, just a second. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to bias, we ensure that it is not tailored just for a particular group of people. This is open for anybody at all who needs such a service. And also in the prediction, we ensure that um, if client wants cocoa, it's just those cocoa. Even within the cocoa, we ensure that edge cases and all of those things are catered for, so that the model will not just be moving towards holes alone, or
Mm.
moving towards seedlings alone. So in every way you look at fairness or biasness, we ensure we remove biasness. Okay, when it comes to being trusted, like I showed you the securities over here, all
Mm-hmm.
right, we can use tokens like the Web3 blockchain. All right, you know the tokens are very hard to crack,
Mm-hmm.
and we also use Docker. And you know, Docker also has its way of ensuring that wherever you transport it, it works over there, and
Mm.
also make sure that it minds its own business. Like I told you, it will not look out for anybody. Nobody enters. You know how Docker works, and the CLI, like I also told you, unless you give your PC and your password to somebody else. So all of these things were taken into consideration before building the model.
Okay. I think I would take that as the right, you know, response in terms of how you guys incorporate responsible AI principle into the design of this AI solution. Yeah, I think this brings us to the end of this AI Spotlight project presentation. Mr. Michael happens to be the first person on this edition. I want to appreciate you, and if you guys have any questions for him, or if you are a student, an individual, a consultant, and you would like to come and do a presentation of your project, you are highly welcome. If you follow me on LinkedIn, please shoot me a message. If you follow me on Facebook, send me a message. On Instagram, go ahead and also send me a message. And Mr. Michael, too, if you have other people or students or your mentees that have project that they would like to present, my doors are open. We'll bring them to AI Spotlight, and they can come and do that presentation. And I know you are into the telecom industry. If you are interested in also talking about how the telecom industry is integrating artificial intelligence, I think I'm very interested in that discussion. I think I have a lot of interesting questions because I did some courses, programs in telecommunication, the SDN, the others 5G. I did
Okay.
lots.
Yeah.
I've done a lot. Yeah. I've done business courses, I've done engineering. Then
Oh, okay.
you can see my background. Then my background is
Yeah.
very rich. You understand? My background is very rich. Then, if you are ready to have those discussions, we can start the first episode of AI, how AI is changing the telecommunication industry. And my perfect use case is going to be China and Japan. I'm going to use that as my template to talk about how AI is changing the telecommunication industry, and we look at it from different perspective, from the different key technology components of the telecommunication industry, how that has been revolutionized. And to be honest, I don't think we can take Nvidia out of the picture. Nvidia is also building some kind of solutions, hardware, as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. You can be,
Thank you so much, Henry.
yeah,
Thank
stay
you.
on the call. Let's be end the live. Hi, everyone. If you have any question, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. Send me a message if you like to have any discussion, or if you have anything you are using AI to do. If you're a small business owner, you're an enterprise, you're using AI, and you want to come and tell the world, you want to tell the public what you are using AI, how AI has been able to make life easy for you. AI has been able to help you to make more money. AI is making you more productive, more efficient. AI is helping you to manage your business in a more better way. AI has been able to give you more business opportunities. How AI has been able to improve or increase your business landscape. We would like to hear, these kinds of testimony, these kinds of information. Then please, AI Spotlight is the place where we have all this discussion. That is why our tagline is where we connect visionaries of AI. We connect them together. You know. Okay, thanks everyone. My name is Steve Henry Onole, the executive producer